So have you ever wanted your own skeleton dial watch? Well, I hope the answer was yes, because today I'm going to show you how you can build your own. What is up everyone, I'm Jason from jb.watchmods, and today I'm going to show you how you can build your own skeleton dial watch. Now to start with, we're going to need to pick a movement, and the movement we're going to use today is a Seiko NH72 movement, which is basically a skeletonized version of the NH35. So now that we've got our movement sorted, we're going to select our case. And the case we're going to go with is a 41mm rose gold AP style case with a black silicone strap. I think this combination is going to look killer. Now that we know we're using a 41mm case, we can select our dial. And the dial that I've picked is a 31.8mm transparent dial. Now this is really going to show off that NH72 skeletonized movement. I think it's going to look awesome, and it's got rose gold indices to match that case. And lastly, our handset. We're going with an AP style rose gold handset, which should top it off nicely. Now let's take a look at these parts and jump straight into the build. Okay, first up, let's grab our movement and get it ready to accept the dial. Now, every time I've bought an NH72 movement, they never have the movement ring fitted to the movement. So that is the first task of this build. Now, they always come with a metal spacer, which you can see on the right, and I've never had a use for this, so I'm not exactly sure what it's for. But we'll grab our grey plastic spacer and just clip it on the top of the movement, making sure that the cutout in that spacer is facing the crown stem hole. Now both of these spacers came with the movement that I've purchased, but just beware, I have purchased these movements and they didn't come with a spacer at all. So I'll leave some movement spacers linked in the description below, along with everything else that I use in this video, including all the tools I use. So now we've got our spacer fitted, we can move on to our dial. Now on the dial, we've got some dial feet that we do not need. So we'll flip this dial over, grab our side cutters and cut off the dial feet that we don't need. Now, as we've got 6 feet on the back of this dial and we only need 2, the easiest way to work out which feet you don't need is by lining the dial up and seeing which dial feet line up with the holes in the movement. Then we can grab our side cutters and snip off all the feet that we don't need. Once all the feet are cut off, I'm left with these small nubs on the back of the dial. So I'm going to grab my Dremel and sand all these nubs flat so the dial sits nice and flush on the movement. Once the back of that dial is nice and flat, we'll grab our air blower and our rotor coat and give that dial a nice clean. We don't want any metal filings left on the back of that dial that could possibly go through the movement. And if anyone's got any tips on how to clean these clear Perspex dials, I would love to hear them. Personally, I really struggled to get this dial clean and it still isn't the best. But once it's fitted to that movement, it hides all of the imperfections. But it would be a game changer if anyone knew how to clean these dials properly. So let me know your best tips in the comment section below. But now we're going to move on to fitting the handset. And first up is our hour hand. Sorry for the quick interruption, but I just wanted to say if you're enjoying this video so far, you might be interested in checking out my Patreon account, which is linked in the description below. Now over there, I offer one-on-one customized support for all your watch modding needs. I even share all of my supplies to help you kickstart your watch modding journey. Now I also do a monthly watch giveaway, which you can enter for as little as $5 Australian. Now if that sounds like something you're interested in and you want to help support the channel, check out my Patreon, which is linked in the description below. Now back to the video. Now I always press my hour hand and my minute hand on at the 12 o'clock position. This ensures that the hands are in sync and tell the correct time and every hour. Once I get that hour hand pressed on, I like to rotate the movement over just to make sure that that hour hand clears all the indices and any text that is on the dial. Once we know it's all good, we'll line it back up at 12 o'clock and get ready to press the minute hand on. And just as before, we'll make sure it's lined up directly over 12 o'clock before pressing the hand on. Now we'll rotate that movement over 2 times just to make sure that the hands have the proper clearances, aren't fouling on each other, and that they line back up at 12 o'clock. Now we can move on to our final hand, which is our second hand. Now the second hand is a little bit different as it doesn't matter at which position we press it down. It doesn't need to be pressed down at 12 o'clock like the other hands, as you can stop and start the second hand whenever you like by pulling the crown in and out. And you can see that we've got nice clearances between all our hands and that each hand is sitting nice and flat. And I must say that I think this is looking stunning so far. I cannot wait to see how this looks cased up. So we are just about ready to fit this into the case, but first we need to pull out this dummy crown stem. Now to do this, we need to push the crown stem all the way in, which reveals a small lever that needs to be depressed in order to release the crown stem. Then we can grab our case and start to prep it to accept our dial and movement. Now the first step is to remove our case back. Now this watch uses a screwed on case back, so we'll get our screwdriver and remove all of the screws so we can pull this case back off. Now you can see there's a white movement spacer fitted in that case, which we'll remove and keep for later. Now we'll grab our air blower and our lens pen and give this crystal a good clean. Now take your time during this step, as the last thing you want is any dust or smudges on that crystal once the movement is fitted. Now once you're happy that that crystal is nice and clean, we'll grab our movement and our case spacer that we put aside a minute ago and pair the two together. Now I found the easiest way for this build was just to sit the case spacer on the back side of the movement and then fit the case over the top of the two. For me, this spacer didn't really want to attach properly to the movement, so I found it easiest to pair it all together once it was in the case. And once it's all together, you just want to double check that the crown stem hole in the movement lines up with that crown tube in the case. Then we can move on to cutting and fitting the crown stem. So we'll unscrew the crown from the case and grab the crown stem that should have come with the movement that you purchased. Now I've built a lot of these watches over the years, so I just cut this by eye. But if you're relatively new to this hobby, I would recommend using a set of vernier calipers to measure the crown stem to see how much you actually need to cut off. Then I use a file or a Dremel just to clean up the end of the thread to make sure there are no burrs that might damage the thread inside that crown. And now it's time to test fit. So we're looking for the crown to screw all the way flush into the case and to be able to pull the crown in and out to each position nice and freely. And it looks like we've actually nailed the length of this crown stem on the first try. The crown sits flush against the case and we can get each position easily. So what we're going to do is pull this crown stem back out, remove the crown and add some Loctite to the threads. This will just stop the crown from unwinding itself unintentionally. Now you only need a small dab of Loctite on these threads, and once you're done, make sure you wipe off any excess Loctite so it doesn't go through your movement. Now we can fit this crown back into the movement for the final time. With that step done, we can move on to prepping our case back to seal up this watch. Now the first step is to lubricate our case back gasket. Now we do this by obviously removing our gasket from the case back and popping it into some silicone grease. Then we can reinstall our gasket and start cleaning the crystal on our exhibition case back. And to clean our exhibition case back, I use exactly the same method as cleaning the sapphire crystal on the front of the watch. Just by using a lens pen and an air blower, we can get this crystal spotless. Now we're ready to install our case back and seal this watch up. Now it's as simple as popping the case back on, dropping your screws in and tightening each screw down. And when you are tightening down your case back, make sure that you're doing the screws up in a star-shaped pattern just to make sure that that case back goes down nice and evenly. And I must admit, I'm not usually a massive fan of display back watches for the NH series, but this NH72 does look killer in this case. Now that the case is locked down, we can move on to the final step, which is going to be fitting our straps. Now this watch has end links that are already fitted, so all we need to do is attach our rubber straps and pop our retaining pin through. And like I mentioned earlier, if you do want to build this watch for yourself, I'll leave everything linked in the description below so you can grab all the parts for yourself. I also sell a range of handmade custom watches like this one over on my website, so if you don't quite feel like you're up to the task of building one of these watches for yourself, you can jump over to my website and check out my range of watches. Now that this watch is just about done, let's flip it over, run some B-roll and see how this watch looks. Today's build. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of today's build. Now, this may be one of my favorite builds yet. I think that transparent dial looks absolutely killer, but I would love to hear from you guys. How do you clean that dial? Because it is an absolute nightmare to work with. This was my third attempt at this build. I burnt through 2 dials trying to get that dial nice and clean. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in the next video.